Hi, I'm Rob Levine, and I worked at the Antlers from 1978 until roughly 2020. If you had told me in 1978 that I would spend my entire career at one place, I would have probably told you were crazy. But there were a number of things about the Antlers and the Antlers culture that are very unique that made that not only possible but preferable. High among those components of that culture is an independence and a lack of corporate bureaucracy and a willingness to allow me and all of the Antlers employees uh, a level of freedom to do our jobs as we see best. That's certainly not without some amount of oversight and review and thoughtful consideration, but it's I always used to tell people when I was interviewing them that if you were looking for a job with very defined procedures and policies, standard operating procedures, and you like that kind of structure, the Antlers probably is not for you. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. Everybody has different motivations, but the freedom and the lack of structure to some degree certainly worked for me, and I think worked for most employees that thrived at the Antlers, of which there were obviously many. Part and parcel with that was the ability to move up in the organization. I started at the front desk and became general manager, but I think we had a handful of others who started at the front desk at the bottom of the totem pole, so to speak, and wound up as assistant general managers, whether it was Bert Farron or Marilyn Elterman or Chris Manning or Chris Ratzlaff. Um, Magdalena started in the guest services in the group services department. Those people would have gone on to be general manager had I ever left, but sadly for them I didn't. But that's okay. They all went on to other careers with good feelings and good history at the Antlers. Another big component of the Antlers culture that I think is very unique is a willingness to look at the big picture and oftentimes put goodwill and other benefits above making money. You hear that rhetoric that there are more important things than making money, but in a business context where so much is defined and focused on profits and revenue and bottom lines and performance measured in dollars, that often gets overlooked or put aside. And I think the Antlers has always had a unique ability at successfully walking that talk. It's demonstrated in lots of ways, not the least of which is our corporate citizenship history, a willingness to give deeply discounted services, rooms, or comp, more likely comp rooms, to whether it's nonprofits or governmental entities or somebody that is doing a service for the greater community in order to help them and make their lives better and easier. And it's easy to overlook that, but the Antlers has a great history of successfully providing that and looking at the big picture and being willing to not just focus on the bottom line and making money. And I think that's really important. It also manifested itself in individual performance. I know that I, on many occasions, and I know others, sacrificed some amount of personal financial gain in order to uh, help everyone else, help others, be it other employees or be it outsiders. And it's hard because in the short term, it's easy to focus on the personal sacrifice financially, but with an eye on the big picture, in the long term, it inevitably comes back to be beneficial. And I know from the bottom of my heart that I and others wound up making a lot more money by not having to try to figure out how to, make every last nickel in the short term. That culture of support and hospitality and compassion, it comes back in spades, not only from a good feeling of working there, but also financially. And I think there's not many businesses that actually walk that talk and perform in that regard that way. So those are just a couple things about the Antlers culture that I've always embraced and found special, and I think are incredibly important. Sometimes they can be captured in a pithy little statement. I'm known for saying the answer is yes, what's the question? I think that folds into those elements of the Antlers culture that I've tried to describe. Another motto that I tried to live by was people like doing business with people that are easy to do business with, whether that's customers or fellow employees or owners or whoever. And I think the Antlers has a very special and successful history of living by those mottos. So I hope others will find the Antlers culture to be as unique and wonderful and really special as I always have. Thanks.